Sergei Markov, one more warning from Vladimir Putin. The West will be fighting directly with Russia if it lets Kiev use the long-range missiles. That fight directly with Russia has been going on for some time, and Russia started it. Why now? Why the warning now?
Now Russia changing its approach because Western countries are going by the way, to escalation, and sometimes this escalation should be stopped. And the strategy of Western countries, it's quite smart to have, hundreds of small steps towards the direction of escalation. And in fact, they will be more and more involved. And Russia sometimes has to stop this escalation. Now
You're escalating. You're escalating. Russia's escalating by going to Iran and getting supplied with ballistic missiles from Iran, from ammunition from North Korea. Who knows what from China? This is your escalation.
I'm sorry. I don't know why you support this lie from Western side. I will say very simply. Look, Western leaders saying Russia taking 200 rocket missiles from Iran by 110 kilometers long distance. That's why we will give response by giving 1,000 of the 800 long rocket missiles. Of course, this is not an equal response. It's exactly escalation. And also the difference is that if Russia even take Iranian rocket missiles, which both Russia and Iran deny, if it's imagine that it's happened, Russia will target these rocket missiles itself by Russian army.
Okay.
Ukrainian army said it's important. Ukrainian army has no own satellite group which can target this rocket missiles. That's why it means that British and American satellite groups will target these rocket missiles. It directly will within the war. Everybody understands it.
You talk about escalation. You think Mr. Putin's forgotten about the hybrid war and the sabotage attacks that he's been organizing in Europe, carrying out in the West? The fire that destroyed Poland's largest shopping mall, the arson attack in Vilnius on IKEA, the warehouse in East London, the cyber attack by a Russian crime gang on Britain's health service. You think he's forgotten all about that? He's waging the war. He's the one who's taking on the West.
Russia is very modest, is very modest behavior, and those accusations about Kharkiv attack against Russia is everything lie.
Everything's a lie. Everybody else is lying. You're the only ones telling the truth. Is that right?
Mostly yes. If you take this situation, no equal. On one hand, we have a clear terroristic government in Kiev. Scientific description of the regime in Kiev sounds like illegal, non-democratic, repressive, neo-Nazi, occupied by United States of America, puppet using terrorist methods. It's clear scientific description of Ukrainian regime, which is created by United States of America, not people. United States of America and British militaries, which is now out of control of the British and American people. And
it's interesting that you talk about Ukraine as non-democratic and repressive. Look at your own society. Who's repressive? Look at people who are flung into jail simply for disagreeing with Putin. Look at it. Look at the millions of people now who are informing on each other. Look at the return to Soviet-style repression that you have in your country now. And you talk about Kiev? That's a bit hypocritical, isn't it?
It's very, if you allow me, if you give me 1 minute, I will show it's very easily that I am right and you are lying. Look, for example, on the situation that happened in the television before the beginning of special military operation. Look what happened in Russian TV. On Russian TV, I took part in TV shows every day. You can hear every day in the new TV show, you can hear Kiev position every day. So generally during 8 years, you can hear Kiev position 2,000 times. During these 8 years, no one Ukrainian TV channel allowed to have pro-Kremlin position. No one. It's clear absolutely that Russian TV much more free was at that time that Ukrainian TV. It's one case. Another case very easily. We have elections, as you know, Vladimir Zelensky.
And the result was never in doubt. It was never in doubt. Your election result. You know that. Putin was going to win because nobody who was a real challenge was ever allowed to take part. Look at Navalny. Navalny was thrown into jail, and he was the only opposition leader that might have stood a credible chance of providing an opposition. He was thrown in to jail, and they died. And that's
I knew Navalny personally. He was very bright, energetic, smart politician. It's very pity that he dead. But the problem is, Alexei Navalny was very corrupted politician. Alexei Navalny was part of the team of the Kiev governor Nikita Belikh, with whom I also have friendly relations, to my regret, but he get 8 years to prison because of corruption. So why Western countries support only corrupted politicians? Why Western countries support only betrayal who serve for the country? And also, it's a very simple thing. You can have a lot of discussion and so, but no discussion about that in Kiev we have neo-Nazi repressive regime which use terror as major political.
No, sorry, can you say, Mr. Markov, I hate.
In fact, in those conflicts,
I hate to interrupt your speech. I hate to interrupt the speech.
That in Kiev, Western countries support clear repressive neo-Nazi regime. You are out of real serious discussion. It's a problem.
You said that.
There are no discussion between us. Only bilateral accusation.
Let me.
First of all, you should accept that in Ukraine, Western countries support clear neo-Nazi regime.
Let me put this to you. For Mr. Putin, the biggest concern is existential security, Russia's existential security. And he says NATO is threatening that, right? Okay? We agree on that?
No, not only.
Not only. Let me finish the question. For the first time since the Second World War, Russia has failed to protect its borders from a foreign army. Last month, Ukrainian troops just drove actually unopposed into your Kursk region. Do you think Russians are impressed with this incredible failure of leadership on the part of the Russian government and the Russian president? That your border was just swept aside and a foreign army came in. First time since the Second World War.
No.
They're not impressed.
No, this is only Western approach, which doesn't exist in Russia here. Because from Russian point of view, not only Kursk region where a Ukrainian army made invasion, part of the Russia, but Donetsk, it's also part of the Russia. And Lugansk part of the Russia, and Kherson also part of. It's our position. You talk about your position, but our position, this is a part of the Russia. And I would say you even more. Odessa in Kharkiv, which judicially now part of Ukraine, is regarded by total majority of Russian people as ancient big Russian cities. It's also Russia, because that's why from our point of view, much more important than Ukrainian neo-Nazi puppet pro-American repressive regime occupy Odessa, Kharkiv, Zaporozhye, Kherson, it's much more important than...
So you don't mind that they just walked into your territory, they just walked across your border, and you had no means, no stopping them. You were so worried about the threat from NATO that you didn't even defend your borders properly.
No, as already mentioned, it's how you see this situation. From your point of view, Kursk is Russia, but Donetsk, Lugansk, Kherson, Zaporozhye not Russia. But we have another opinion. That's why we're in the conflict. That's why Russia regards the occupation of Kursk region villages. It's bad, but it's less important than the occupation of Zaporozhye, Kherson, and Kharkiv and Odessa by a Ukrainian repressive Russophobic regime. It's our point of view.
Okay, let me put this to you.
Odessa and Kharkiv, and we are going to liberate them.
Okay, let me put this to you. You didn't defend your borders, and you didn't bother to defend your borders because you never thought NATO was a threat to you anyway. This idea that NATO is threatening to you, that's nonsense, isn't it? Absolute nonsense. That NATO has never threatened you. You take Germany, the military is still in a dire state, the planes don't work, the ships are out of commission. Britain doesn't even have a division of 10,000 fighting men it could put into a war. Several member states don't even spend 2% of their GDP on defense. And this is the great threat to Russia's security that you've been painting it. NATO, the big enemy, preparing to put Russia down. It's nonsense, isn't it? The arguments are nonsense.
It's your argument, but it's not us. For us, NATO, it's United States of America, and it's junior partners who has no sovereignty and follow any orders from the Washington. It means that threat from NATO means threat from United States of America. But United States of America, I should remember you, the military budget of United States of America are more than military budget of the countries all together on the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, in other places in the world. The United States is a great military superpower, and the NATO, it's United States and small puppets.
Yeah, and it's no threat to you. Absolutely no threat to you, and you know that.
You know, you should return to yourself and to audience that United States is not threat to Russia. But everybody know, including your audience, including you are, know that United States has concept of the world hegemony. So therefore, the United States is threat to everybody except those where they already took control, where they already have the hegemony. But those countries who is independent, all of them feel some threat from United States because Russia and China is a major country with remain independence and so on. Of course, they regard this threat from United States. Everybody from your audience agree with me on this point.
If you really thought the U.S. was a threat to you, you would be defending your borders a lot more efficiently and competently than you are. I mean, tell me, you haven't answered my question. Are Russians impressed with the way the Ukraine could just walk into your territory and hold it? That your troops have been surrendering on Russian soil to a foreign army on Russian soil? Are they impressed with that? How long can Putin go on making mistakes like that? Even some of his followers are coming out and saying, Karen Shakhnazarov, the filmmaker, the Putin fan, he came out and said, with blunders like this, we could lose the war. He said that on your state television. We could lose the war. So people aren't impressed with your leadership, are they?
The fact that you make a quotation from Karen Shakhnazarov, another proof that Russian TV is free TV, much more free than Ukrainian TV, which is under the Ukrainian neonazist regime.
But that's the point I was making.
I should repeat you again. It's from your point of view. Kursk is a Russian region, but Zaporozhye, Donetsk, Lugansk, and Kherson, not Russians. But
You're happy with the Ukrainians on Russia. You're happy.
All this, the region territory already occupied by Ukrainian army. But nobody understands that Ukrainian army is not army of Ukrainian people. Ukrainian army is proxy army of the United States of America, fully led, command, equipped, financed by United States of America.
So the war has already begun between Russia and the West. It's already begun. There's no point going on warning about that we'd be fighting each other. The war's begun, hasn't it? And you started it.
The war has began already, the war is continued, but now it's proxy war. As about 80% of the people in different countries believe. This is proxy war of the United States of America against Russia. But now the point is that some of the countries, specifically Great Britain, want to come to the direct war. Great Britain close to make the decision to move from the proxy war against Russia to the direct war against Russia.
How does this war end, Mr. Markov? How does this war end?
It's if you look at the history, you could see that Napoleon Bonaparte fought against Russia, combining all Europe against him. Then Adolf Hitler combined all Europe against Russia and made invasion to Russia. All of them had been crashed. Joe Biden also will be crashed.
You think Ukraine will ever forgive you for what you've done to them? That you can ever live peacefully side by side with Ukraine after you've stolen their children, you've occupied their territory, you've destroyed their buildings, you've shot some of their prisoners in the back of the head? Do you think they're going to forgive you for that?
Look, I will say you a very easy example, just for understanding. Front in Ukraine and Russian territory, it's more than 1,000 year and 2.5 year container. The number of civilians who have been killed during something about 3,000 people from Ukrainian side. But in sector Gaza, during the half of the year, on the very small territory of sector Gaza, the number of killed civilians is 35,000. It means more than 10 times more. It means that Russian behavior better than behavior of Israel army, something about in 50 times. That's why...
Just because something worse happens, something else in the world, that
we come to Ukraine, not occupy Ukraine. We come to Ukraine to liberate Ukrainian Russian people from neo-Nazi puppet pro-American regime.
And you still believe that nonsense, do you?
Not only me believe this. 90% of our people believe in this. And if you open your mind, you will believe in this as well.
Sergei Markov, it's been good to talk to you. Thank you very much for your time.
My pleasure.
Thank you.